Welcome back to my channel, of course. So since waking up, I had a hard night. I woke up at 10, went back to sleep, woke up again at 11, stayed up till 4, went back to sleep. And I've been up since 10:30 this morning. I think that maybe some energy could be bombarding us, meaning Earth. That's the only thing I can think of, the reason why I can't sleep. It's bothersome. I actually should have got up yesterday and worked on my book a little bit, but I have time. I have thought and thought and thought of what to talk about when I got on here. I'm trying so hard, which may be the problem, of putting a video a day out here. I also want to say that I've been comparing my lives to my editing videos, and I tend to see more people viewing my edited videos. I'm not sure why. If you are one that watches both, but you prefer this one, an edited video, let me know why. Because if you guys don't enjoy the live videos, then I won't do them again. Because my goal is documenting my life and pleasing my audience, my subscribers. It's a very windy day today. I have to go and pick up some medicine. I kind of woke up with, well, I didn't wake up with it. Let me tell you what happened. So I woke up. I'm fine. I usually lay in bed and watch a couple of videos off of Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, whichever. And then I get up and go to the bathroom. Well, I did that this morning. Then I head into the kitchen to make myself breakfast. Let me back up. As I was coming out of the bathroom, that's the hall. Right in that direction is the master bedroom. And that's the bathroom I go in. So in order to come back to my room, I had to come through that hallway. So that's what I was doing. I was fixing to cross the hallway, and I heard something in the kitchen. It was very weird because I used the bathroom with the door open. So I suddenly became self-conscious. I don't know if that's the right wording, but I slowly creep in there thinking, is my ex here? And I didn't know. And he heard me doing my business in the bathroom. So I'm walking in there, and the racket was constant. It didn't stop. And I had an image in my head of something on the stove bouncing around on the burner. And I thought, did somebody leave the burner on last night? What's going on? So I kind of go down the hall that way. And I'm leaning to the right of the hall so I can get a better view of the kitchen. I could see the middle to the right, but not the left where the stove and everything was. And I'm walking slow. I'm trying to be stealthy. And so I'm going in there, and evidently it heard me and it stopped. And I stopped. And I got real quiet, and it started again. And I was sitting there thinking, is that our ghost? Is he trying to cook? I don't know if it's a male or female. I intuitively feel it's male. And so I creep in there really, really slow. It stopped. I stopped. Then it started back, and I'm moving really slow. I might insert the clip here, but you're going to have to do me a favor and ignore what the floor looks like in the stove. It is not my doing, in which I had got permission to clean his kitchen thoroughly, and I'm going to make a video of that. That way you can see something other than me sitting in the same spot with nothing to say. So I'm creeping in there as slow as I can, and it didn't hear me. And I stopped at the stove where I was hearing this coming from. And I'm looking. The door has, the oven door has no window. And so I'm thinking, my ex cooked last night. Did he leave an oven on or something? And then all of a sudden, I look down on the floor, and there's this dry leaf kind of curled up. Half or some of it is sticking underneath the drawer of the oven, and I could see it moving. And, and I'm like, what is that? What in the world? And so I'm standing there for a good long time watching it. My bet is a mouse. We actually had a mole in here not too long ago, and he captured it and put it outside. But whatever this was trying to eat the leaf, and the leaf would not go under the stove. And you could tell, like, it was possibly chewing on the door of the oven. And the reason why I say this is because you can hear, like, teeth on metal crunching, scraping, with the leaf bouncing around. So I'm like, is that a mouse being starved and it's trying to eat a leaf? I recorded it and sent it to my ex, and I'm like, you need to listen to this. I'm freaking out. I am afraid that he may come home and capture it and kill it. The last time something like that happened, it's been like 4 years ago maybe, but it's stuck in my mind incredibly. I'm going to try not to cry when I tell you this because it was traumatic for me. Very traumatic. So I had my dog in my bedroom, which was the master bedroom across the hall. And he and my daughter's dog didn't really get along, and mine was pretty old, and he was in kidney failure. He just had some health issues. So I had a pet gate in the doorway. That way I could leave the door open and he could see out. I was asleep. And then all of a sudden, I heard my daughter scream, "Let him go." And I was like, what the hell is that? And she's wrestling a raccoon to get off of her dog. And her dad was on the couch. And from that point forward, I don't know what happened. But the raccoon, this room is at the very end of the house. The other end of the house is that way. That's where the raccoon ended up, kind of by the washer. Since my ex wasn't really keen on patching a hole in the roof, raccoons had got in. Somehow the raccoon dropped down where the hot water heater is. Yeah, the hot water heater. And there was a big hole in the door, which is another long story. But the raccoon climbed out right there. So when I got in there and the kitchen light was on and I started understanding what was going on, I looked to the laundry room, and the saddest thing to me was this large, chubby raccoon that could have been pregnant because it was a pretty big raccoon. It was sitting on its butt, and its front legs were up and its hind legs were out. Like he was like, kind of. And I'm looking at it, and my mind was trying to shut that off. And I know now, I knew later that night, of not seeing that image, but I still see it clearly. I have a great, intense love for animals, the bad and the good. The bad animals are loving still, but they're angry about something, just like us. If we're in the right environment and we're treated correctly, that anger goes away and we develop love. The animals are the same way. Well, this raccoon has lived outside. I'm pretty sure it has been traumatic by other predators trying to eat it, or its babies. It was angry. I think it was angry. I'm not sure. But I'll never forget the image. I could see it plain as day. And I looked over and my thought was, oh my God. Sadness came over me because I knew what was going to happen. My ex had made the comment that he was going to, if you catch my meaning, unalive it. And I wanted to say, oh my God, please don't. And he, before he even got my sentence out, you could see the anger in his face, saying that he's tired of these raccoons getting in his roof, and Bubba, he's going to take care of it. And this great sadness come over me. And I said, just let me get my dog into my bedroom and shut the door, turn the TV on so we don't have to hear it. I'm pretty sure my dog, having the hearing that dogs have, heard something. I did. I heard something that sounded like a pellet gun go off at least 5 times. And then he proceeds to tell me that he had to mop up the blood and for none of us to come out because of that. And I had this image of that raccoon. It had crawled behind the washer in the wall. It was between there, and he climbed down top of the washer and was shooting it. I don't want to know what that raccoon was thinking, but it wasn't anything positive. I am almost 100% sure, but it has stuck with me. When he brought the mole in here, he captured it in a dog water dish that was empty. And he came in the room and he said, I found a mole. It was crawling around in the living room, and he captured it. And he was in my room talking about it, and I kind of went in, I don't know what you would call it. I remember just kind of, I think, bracing myself. And I'm like, oh shit. And I said, are you going to kill it? And he said, no, I'm not going to kill it. And he showed it to me, and it was cute, of course, but he let it go outside. I think that the people who kill animals, especially when they don't have to, are very angry people. My ex is a very angry person, and I'm not talking negative about him. Although anger is negativity, a negative emotion. He went through a lot as a kid, but he had the mentality of handling it. And I think that when I left him, I think that really bothered him. I know it did, because when I started seeing somebody, he called me wanting to work it out. And the last part of our marriage, for 3 or 4 years, I slept on the couch trying to get him to wake up and say, come to bed. Let's work this out, but not once. He would bring me my blanket and pillow. So when I left and met somebody, I think that threw him off. And I think that his emotions were on high alert and angry, because I never seen him angry like that. So ever since that point, I feel like he's angry at the world. He blames everybody for his problems except himself. And it's not good. I would like to try to help heal him, but he will not allow that. There's many times where I tell him, you should not be so angry. It's not good for your health or your mentality, your high blood pressure. I think after me telling him that for a couple of years, he's probably listening now, because he's not that angry anymore. He's still angry, but not as bad as he used to be. I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera continuously. The window's behind you guys again, and I thoroughly enjoy looking out and observing cars and people going by. But anyway, I had a whole topic I think I was going to talk about before the raccoon and my ex, but there's more things that I want to say on that topic of him and animals, but it will make me cry, and I don't want to shame him on the internet at all or talk bad about him. He's the father of my children, and I refuse to talk bad about him. Although the things I would say was something that he did that wasn't, I can't even explain it. I think he thought he was handling it in the best way he could. And that's all I can say about that. I don't like downing people on my channel, talking negative about them. It's their path, not mine. I almost want to cry. You can't interfere in some people's path. They chose this path to be cruel to animals, and you can't just barge in and say, you need to straighten up. They wouldn't anyway. But you can't barge into their path and try to change them, because that path is the one they created for themselves. Before they're incarnated, they put all this in the soul contract, but I'm sure everything in the soul contract was a positive outcome. So you have to do things that are bad and come out of it good for you to fix that karma and or to learn what you've done wrong. And the outcome is what matters. I always say that the outcome is what matters. And let's just say the raccoon incident, after that happened, no matter how long after that happened, if he just said one day that I shouldn't have done that, I will never do that again, and I would be nice to animals, and etc., etc., the outcome of that was good. Something tells me that he's been in a lot of lives with me. He's been incarnated with me. And I feel like when my life is turned upside down like it currently is, I feel that he's always there to catch me when I fall. I have that feeling greatly. And I say this because I had a vision. We were in a Roman era. We were in a Roman era, or so it looked like it. He was in armor. He had a pointed beard and a pointed metal hat. I got the impression that I stole food because I was hungry. And I was in a horrible, ratted, dirty dress, barefoot, running. And I remember running beside this rock stone wall. And as I was going on the corner or something, there was an indention in the wall, and he was standing in that. He grabs me, we look at each other, and he puts me behind him in that indention and stands in front of me. And I think he was saving me there. That's why I feel that in this life, when my memory has been affected the way it has been, and hardships has hit me many times in this life, actually, I think that he has stepped forward and said, I know you don't have family, and I will help as much as I can because you're the mother of my children. I know it's like that in this life. I want all of you guys to know that animals, no matter the size or breed of anything, they have souls. These animals, although they're digging through your trash or they're killing your stock, your livestock, there's a reason behind it. They're hungry. But they still have souls. And them eating your livestock isn't this animal saying K-I-L-L repeatedly and eat. It's saying that, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I have to eat something. I'm starving. One of many reasons is we took a lot of their woods away and forest and all that other stuff. But yeah, they all have souls. And although you shouldn't have to go out and protect your livestock, and going through your trash is not that big of a deal. We shouldn't have to do that, but there should be a relocation method of somehow. I was watching a YouTube video, and I think it was a coyote that was eating this couple's wild and wonderful. I can't remember, wild and wonderful something, sorry. But a coyote was eating their sheep, and they had to end its livelihood. And it's sad. It's really sad that We lose livestock because of that. These animals are hungry, and they're really good animals. They have a good soul, a pure spirit, and yet me saying that is probably in their soul contract that that's how they want to end their life. It's how they want to unalive themselves, is to be taken out of the world, so to speak. But I feel that some people take it to the extremes, and it's sad to me. Pretty sad. I was starting to think, what in the world am I going to talk about? I don't have a clue what I'm going to talk about, and I found 20 minutes worth of topic that just poured out of me. Did you know that your animals that you've had in the current lifetimes, when you cross over, they're there waiting? And if they're not, usually it's because they know you're not ready to see them. Let's just say you mistreated them. Maybe they're not going to come around you immediately. Maybe they're there waiting. Because it's all in the soul contract, both of yours. But every animal that you've had will be waiting. One thing I don't understand is this. We have soul groups. And these soul groups include animals that you've had. And the way I'm thinking of this is your soul group is only a certain amount of souls. So if a lot of the souls are incarnated right now, and the other souls are crossed over here, do they have to wait to reincarnate when the last person living crosses over? Or let's just say my grandmother passed. I have my daughter, and my daughter gets pregnant. Is that going to be my grandmother? That might be the way it works. I've tried to wrap my brain around that for so long, and it's so hard. I think that's it. And I sometimes feel that that is why some people look like they're past relatives. I read somewhere that when you treat your animal like a human, more or less, you give it a personality, and animals do develop personalities, that when they cross over, they do have that chance to incarnate as something else other than an animal. The animals that have been neglected, that have no personalities, they sit and wonder, is this what my life's going to be? And nothing good comes out of it. They reincarnate as an animal again. So I'm sure that all of my animals will be waiting for me. I mentally, inside my head, had stated that I want my guides waiting for me. I want all my animals waiting for me. I want Ezekiel waiting for me. I don't think I want anybody who mistreated me right there when I cross over. I think that I need time. Although I'm over the situation here on earth, but when I cross over, I just don't think I'm going to be ready to see them immediately. I will end up going to them, or they probably will come to me knowing that I'm ready, because you're a very strong, powerful soul. You know things. I want my aunt there. I just want specific people there and my animals for now. I might change my mind later. It's so odd for me to say that both of my stepfathers are a part of my soul family. And they put me through hell. Incredible hell. That has affected me clear to this current point, although I am healing and working on it, and it's a never-ending process. It's time-consuming. It makes me pretty emotional every now and then. As long as I keep positive and as long as I keep healing, it does get better and better. That was their path. They were trying to inflict on me, and I was trying to veer away consistently. I sit and look back at my childhood, and wondered why. The police were called often on my first stepdad, but why did I not say, hey, this guy is doing things he's not supposed to be doing to me, and he beats us. Can you put me in a foster home? Because my mom has known about it since day one. She doesn't care. Why didn't I do that? I do know why. I thought I was protecting my mom. I felt that my stepdad, the first one, would not unalive her if I stayed. That would have been on her, not me, if that happened if I left, because she stayed with him. That was her path, and how she comes out of it is what matters. I always say that. She didn't come out of it good. She never came out of it, both of them good, but they're really bad men. So she has to come back, and she has to relive this life. That's karma, because she messed up. But anyway, at least I had a good topic to talk about this time. So I love you guys tremendously, and I'm going to let you go. And I'm sending each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.